It's been 6 months since I discovered that there are Redbox kiosks out there that still work despite the company going bankrupt. And in this video, we'll revisit every kiosk I found 6 months ago and see if they still work in 2025. Now, when we first found some Redbox kiosks 6 months ago, the wildest part wasn't that they still worked, but the fact that you could buy or rent a movie with your card and never be charged. Not yet, at least, anyway. Now, some bad actors unfortunately took advantage of this by emptying out a bunch of kiosks, forcefully, but this whole Redbox situation has changed a lot since we filmed that original video. But there is still some hope. Now, the first place I had to stop at was the very first working kiosk we found last year at a Food Lion. And right off the bat, I was struck with a bad sign for things to come. It's gone. Not just no longer working, but gone. Look, you can even see the holes where the kiosk was screwed to the ground. This truly is a tragic start to our journey. Moving on, I figured I'd try out the first double kiosk we found last year at a Walgreens, which I thought would be a good move since I was still able to use this one back in November. But as I pulled up into almost the same parking spot, you can see it's gone. And look, just like the last stop, there's a clear indication that there was once a kiosk here. What's that thing they left on the ground though? Anyway, I wanted to next check out how a kiosk was doing that I know was turned off the last time I checked. This one was especially sad because the first time we had visited this location, the kiosk was working great. Also, that reminds me that at the time, what we really wanted to find was a fake paper disc that some people used to leave inside DVD cases to trick the kiosk so the thieves could keep the real discs for themselves. Anyway, last time I was at this kiosk, there was a sad little sign over the screen from Food Lion that mentioned that the kiosk had been disabled. Someone had even written a little rest in peace on the sign that, they had left on the screen. And as I pulled around the Food Lion corner, no, it's gone. I even walked up to get a closer look at it, and it seems like they replaced it with a bunch of gardening stuff. As usual, though, you can still see the evidence of the kiosk that once was. All right, at this point, I was getting desperate for any Redbox kiosk at all, frankly. So I decided to drive all the way out to the dirtiest Walgreens ever in the sketchiest part of town.
It sure is weird around here.
Where we originally found a double kiosk with an excellent screen, surprisingly. Behind the kiosk, we did find some stuff that was so gross we had to cut it from the original video, though. But when I pulled into the parking lot, all I could see were porta potties? What is going on at this Walgreens? And look, they're directly over top of where the Redboxes were. Gross. Now, why is it that so many of these locations are missing kiosks? To catch you up quickly, Redbox ran out of monies and was shut down so quickly that a plan to remove the kiosks was never acted out. This means that 6 months ago, it was fairly easy for Jacob and I to roll up to any place Google Maps said a kiosk should still be and find a machine still working like nothing was even wrong. Eventually, though, stores started noticing that these kiosks were surprisingly expensive to keep running, so it quickly became imperative for many businesses to at least unplug their kiosks. Other companies started paying contractors to come and remove the kiosks, all while some people were just straight up breaking into them and stealing movies. Or they just steal the entire Redbox machine before the contractors could get to them. So now in 2025, this means that there really are just not that many kiosks left for me to find anymore. Let's keep going though and see what else I can find. Next up on my journey was a Food Lion where Jacob and I 6 months ago had found a guy actually returning and renting a movie from a kiosk in 2024. Poor guy likely had no clue that they went bankrupt at all. And as I pulled around the corner, the real tragedy became clear. He may very well have been the last actual Redbox customer to legitimately use this kiosk. Another perfect indent in the ground, leaving only a memory of what was. But let's not lose hope yet. For some reason, I still thought Walgreens would be my best bet to find kiosks, but as I pulled up to yet another spot where I knew one used to be, nothing but rust. And this kind of makes sense, as according to this random Reddit poster, Walgreens has been working hard over the past few months to quickly get rid of as many kiosks as they possibly can. Now, next up was a very interesting Food Lion stop. Last time I was here, there was an employee standing next to this kiosk that I thought at the time was guarding it from potential thieves. But as I drove up, you can see that this kiosk was missing too. My theory now is that she was perhaps in league to steal the kiosk for herself the whole time. At this point, I'm starting to think that there may very well not be a single Redbox kiosk in my area left for me. It's time I started checking some places out that keep their Redboxes inside the building. Like this Lowe's Foods, where I once almost got kicked out for messing with their kiosk a little too much. As soon as we started interacting with the machine though, there was an employee like around the corner who was like eyeing us weird, so we were like, we gotta get our movie and get out of here. And this time as I walked through their store, I immediately saw that they actually still had a Redbox standing ready for me to gawk at. At last, we found a real Redbox out in the wild in 2025. But as you can see, someone had unplugged it and I could no longer use this beautiful movie making machine. But hey, at least we could still find our Redbox at all, right? Invigorated by our good fortune, I decided to travel next to somewhere different. A Dollar General. Google Maps said I'd find a Redbox here, but as I walked up to the front of the building, I found nothing. There's not even like a trace of a kiosk, so I don't know what Google was thinking here. But hey, it's not over yet. Up next was one of my favorite Redbox stops from last year, a random Circle K. Maybe this cop we found 6 months ago has been stopping people from trying to steal this kiosk all this time. This one looks sad, sun-bleached, and neglected the first time we checked it out 6 months back, and as you can see, it still was not in great shape. But hey, it's still standing at all, so I can't complain. And next stop was a similar story. Last year, Jacob and I stopped at this Lowe's Foods and found this strange kiosk inside that was on a Windows 10 sign-in screen, okay. Unfortunately, when I visited this kiosk again, the screen tragically wasn't even on anymore. I like that they still have the same sign covering the screen though. This kiosk might stay here for years and no one would even notice, I imagine. But this isn't good enough. At this point, I'd have been driving for hours and I knew that if I couldn't find a working kiosk, you guys would never look at me the same. I had just 2 chances left, a Walgreens that was over 45 minutes from me, and a Circle K that happened to be on the way. As I pulled up to the gas station, I can immediately see that the kiosk was thankfully still standing. And when I lifted the sunscreen, yeah, nothing. The card reader was even removed from this one for some reason. What? Why? This can't possibly be the state of every kiosk left in my area, right? There's just no way. I had no choice but to start my long journey to the final Walgreens. And there it was. This was perhaps the final Walgreens on Earth that still had a Redbox outside. I lifted the sunscreen and... oh my God. It's real. A working Redbox kiosk in 2025, let's go! I took my time with this one as I knew it may very well be the final functional machine I ever get the chance to interact with. There really weren't that many movies left for me to purchase, but that's alright. The final hurdle I had to overcome with this kiosk would be the card reader, as there was a chance that it wouldn't work anymore and would cancel my transaction, like this Walmart one did to me last year. But after entering my zip code and skipping the email screen like I always do, it actually seemed to be delivering my movies. Let's go. Guys, we did it. Look at all these movies I managed to get. That's amazing. I got like 10 movies here. Originally, I wanted to pick up more actually, but there were like 30 to 40 movies still in the machine. I was not gonna sit there all day and get them all. And look, they're all real movies. They're kind of like, you know, B movies that I'm not really sure anyone really wants. That's probably why they're still in the kiosk, except for this one. What is this? Is it upside down or? No, it's just one of those weird double-sided movies. Okay. It's also so scratched up. What even happened here? And look at this, the label on the other movies, it's like a plain white kind of feel on the top, right? But this one has like a patchy look to it, like there's a bunch of wet spots in the sticker here. It's like someone took the sticker off of another movie, put it on their copy of, what is this? True Detective Season 1. Excuse me? Did they even allow you to rent TV shows at a Redbox? That's news to me. But yeah, I think someone stole the original movie that this was supposed to be and stuck the sticker that was on it on their copy of True Detective Season 1 they didn't want anymore. And also, I was just looking through some Redbox news, and apparently the auction where they're gonna like, you know, sell off all the assets and everything from what Redbox owned is gonna happen in just a few weeks. Now, interestingly, this article says that later this month, the trademarks and assets of the company, kiosks included, will change hands in a foreclosure sale at the offices of blah, 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 blah. So it's just weird that this one says that there's kiosks that are gonna be included in the sale, but this Fast Company article says that the kiosks are not for sale, notably exempt from the fire sale. Redbox's once ubiquitous red rental kiosks. So what's going on here? But guys, I hope you enjoyed this journey of me trying to hunt down the last Redboxes in my area. And let me know down in the comments if you still have a Redbox kiosk that works in your area. And if you like this video, you probably want to see something Blockbuster related. Click this video, you'll like it.